And now at 5, we are expecting a warm evening forecast. We do have some rain chances in the short term. We'll let you know when those will arrive.
With flood recovery efforts underway, you may be looking to hire a contractor pretty soon. Ahead, I'll tell you what's the deal with how to make sure that person you hire is licensed, plus what your recourse is if you change your mind after you sign a document.
And remembering an East Central Indiana high school grad. The football game bringing Muncie together a week after all the flooding.
I am not going to accept this plea.
Plea deal rejected. Why a Mexican rapper accused of driving drunk and causing a deadly crash could now go to trial.
And here is a live look tonight at Muncie Central High School. We are just hours away from the first Friday night football game of the season.
Yeah, they're taking on Delta High School tonight. Our Brandon Schaff is there. We're going to check in with him in just a moment. Thanks for joining us at 5 o'clock tonight. I'm Dustin Grove in for Anne Marie.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence, and we're in the Weather Center with Rob Ellis, who's in for Angela. And Rob, this is high school football.
It really is.
Friday football.
The early part of the season, we expect to be like this, right? Bit on the warmer side, a little bit of humidity out there. Thankfully, rain-free this evening. Right. That may change as we get into the overnight. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're watching. Temperature-wise, you're currently sitting in the 80s. We've actually bumped up to 84 now at the airport. Humidity, again, not coming down just yet, but we do expect at some point that we will see that humidity drop, and a couple of showers on the east side that we are tracking. There are also a few farther to the north and east. We'll have to see if this remains the only thing that we're tracking. Couple of lightning strikes within that as well. We don't want that to remain to be the case, but I think as the temperatures cool a bit over the next couple of hours, this activity will die down quite a bit. Farther to the north and west is where we do have some stronger storms. At some point, this cluster will move into the central parts of Illinois, and we may see a few showers from that overnight. Chances on the lower side, but it is certainly there. So for this evening, for football, for whatever you have planned, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies are expected as the sun goes down. Temperatures will be able to drop, but probably staying into the 60s overnight. And yes, there is that chance for a few showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder during the overnight. Coming up, I'm going to walk you through this in future tracks, show you where we could see that move through, the timing of it, and how it may impact your Saturday. I'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks a lot, Rob. And with the return of high school football, our very own Operation Football.
That's right. Dom and Eli are going to be going over the biggest matchups across Central Indiana tonight, really in every Friday night the last couple of months, or the next couple of months looking ahead. So we'll be checking in with them in the next half hour. They're going to be at Lawrence North for our game of the week. And you've got a chance right now to vote for the school you'd like to be featured in next week's Sunrise Kickoff.
So the choice is right now. It's between Cascade High School and Lawrence North High School. You can place your vote right now on our website at WTHR.com/Operation Football. Hard to believe it's that time of year already. And in Delaware County tonight, Delta High School's football team will be taking on Muncie Central.
And this is really a chance to bring people across Muncie together after all the flooding they experienced. Our Brandon Schaff is live there tonight with a look ahead to the game and how they're going to reflect on what that catastrophic flooding has cost them. Brandon?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dustin and Felicia. This really is something that is weighing on the hearts and minds of this entire community as they've gone through so much when it comes to this devastating flooding that has happened here. Muncie Central, they'll be preparing to play Delta on the field that you see right behind me as they begin their football season after all of that devastating flooding. And these football players, their families, all affected, people from both schools. But tonight the focus will be on the loss that is felt at Delta High School. A recent graduate is the victim of that historic flooding. Now, before the game, players and everyone in the stands will have a moment of silence for 19-year-old Matthew Morey. Morey was a recent graduate of Delta High School who played football there. He died after jumping into the Mississinawa River last Wednesday, and captains from both teams will carry out his jersey from last season to honor him after this tragedy. The Muncie Central High School football coach says that tonight is about more than the game on the field.
There's been a lot of uncertainty and damage, and this opportunity tonight is allowing everybody to come together, allowing Delaware County and our community and two schools that love to compete against each other come together and play football, but at the same time also celebrate our community.
And after the game, everyone is invited onto the field for a prayer. And coming up at 6, I'll tell you more about the other schools who also will be beginning their football seasons tonight as well. And their communities certainly feeling the effects of all of the devastating flooding that we've seen throughout Indiana over the last couple weeks. Reporting here in Muncie, Brandon Schaff, 13 News. Back to you.
Very, very poignant evening ahead for the folks in Muncie.
Certainly. Thank you for taking us there, Brandon. And as we know, it's been a little more than a week now since many communities suffered the worst of the flooding.
And now more help is on the way. Today, Governor Braun requested an expedited major disaster declaration from FEMA for 54 counties.
And in Indianapolis, Mayor Hogsett signed a new local disaster emergency declaration. It's in effect now. It'll be in place for 7 days.
And in Hamilton County, the city of Carmel extended its local emergency declaration, so it'll remain in effect through next Sunday, the 29th.
Well, right now, people are starting to clean out their flooded homes and add up all the damage.
But before you hire anybody for repairs, you'll want to know what's the deal with contracts and licenses. Allison Gormley has some important information for you.
After the recent flooding, many people are just now getting back into their homes. And while the remediation and the rebuilding has just begun, it's a process many are experiencing for the very first time.
It's been a long week for Penny York.
I've cried a lot. I might cry now, but I'm a person of faith. I love the Lord, and He's been with me every step of the way. This way.
Her Newcastle home and belongings wet and moldy after the recent flooding.
The river came behind and went into my crawl space for the first time ever, and then the static water pushed it up into my house. My floors are all ruined, and my furniture had to be thrown out. So this is the third dumpster.
While crews work to remove the mold and damaged materials,
They've been out here 5 days now.
York is trying to save irreplaceable family mementos.
My great-grandmother, my grandmother, my dad, myself, and my oldest son.
Once the damaged materials are removed, additional contractors will repair the house.
I'm going to have a couple people come and look at it.
And getting multiple quotes from contractors is a good start.
Just deal with companies, contractors that you know and that are local.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita suggests confirming the contractors have a license if they're required to have one.
Your local city hall or county government will have some licenses. In some instances, and some, not all, your contractor may have to be licensed with the state. So plumbers, for example, that's a state license.
State licenses can be looked up on their search for a license page. As for paying a contractor a deposit,
you should do as little as possible. And when you do have to do one, I would do it with a credit card.
Rokita says it's also Indiana law that your contract has a start date and an approximate completion date. If you sign a deal with someone who came to your door and you change your mind, you have 3 days to cancel it in writing, making sure homeowners dealing with displacement can prevent additional costly problems. Allison Gormley, 13 News.
Allison, thank you. We have an update tonight on the wastewater treatment facility in Connorsville. It's been offline since flooding caused heavy damage there. The city shared an update today saying there are no leaks, but the system is still being bypassed because there's no way to hold all the water coming into it. And happening tonight, another chance for people who live in Marion County and were impacted by flooding to get a free tetanus shot. The county health department has another walk-in clinic. It's open right now, going on at Riverwood Park. It'll be open for about another hour until 6 o'clock. If you can't make this one, you can head to the next walk-in clinic, and it will be at Holt Park tomorrow morning starting at 10.
And there's still a lot of cleanup needed across central Indiana.
And that's why Indy DPW crews are going to be heading to Ravenswood, River Park, and Rocky Ripple tomorrow to help out. Those are among the neighborhoods hardest hit from significant flooding. So if you live there, you'll likely see trucks coming through your neighborhood to collect debris. If you can't get to the dumpsters, you can place what you need to place at the curb, and they'll go ahead and pick it up for you. And in Hamilton County, we saw people come out today to help clean up the White River campground.
So they helped clear mud, pick up sticks, and clean the signs and the fence. Campground's closed through Wednesday. So we've put together all our flooding updates as well as resources. There are a lot of people trying to reach out and help flood victims. We put all that information on our website at WTHR.com/flooding.
Developing tonight, a judge rejects a plea agreement for a Mexican rapper accused of killing a man in a downtown Indianapolis crash.
Brian Camacho Calleja agreed to plead guilty in exchange for a deal capping his prison time at 8 years.
But today the judge said no. Our Ashton Hackman explains why and how the victim's family is reacting.
Brian Camacho Calleja walked into court facing a plea deal that would have capped his prison time at 8 years. Instead, the judge rejected it.
I do not find myself in a position where I can accept this plea. I don't think that it adequately reflects the seriousness.
Investigators say Calleja was going nearly 100 miles an hour last September, driving drunk and blowing through red lights in downtown Indianapolis. At Ohio and East, police say his Dodge Charger slammed into an SUV carrying 31-year-old Aaron Radford in the back seat of a Lyft. Radford was thrown from the vehicle and later died. His family sent letters to the judge asking her to throw out the plea deal.
We considered this good news because we know his life was worth more than the limit on that plea agreement.
Outside the courtroom, Aaron Radford's family gathered and prayed.
To only ask for 6 years after taking somebody's life, or 8 years, it's so disrespectful just to Aaron's life in general.
The ruling puts this case back on track towards a trial, but a trial is not a done deal. The judge said both sides could potentially negotiate a new plea deal, one that better fits the seriousness of the charges.
Radford's family says they're ready for whatever comes next.
I'm ready to fight.
Yeah, and Aaron can get the justice he deserves.
And I'm glad they fighting so we don't have to fight.
Aaron Radford, the hero. We fighting for you, baby. You gonna get your justice.
Long live A-Rod.
Long live A-Rod.
For Aaron's family, justice now waits. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Ashton, thank you. For now, a jury trial is scheduled for November 30th unless a new plea agreement can be reached. We'll keep you updated.
Tonight, we're learning a man facing charges in a shooting involving Metro Police will be back in court next month following his initial hearing today. The Marion County prosecutor has charged Krishawn Brinkley with 3 counts of attempted murder, among other charges. The shooting happened 1 week ago near Rockville Road and South Lyndhurst Drive. Metro Police officers say someone started shooting at them as they approached a house to serve a narcotics warrant. That's when 2 officers were shot and hospitalized, but they have since been released and they are recovering.
No power for more than a week and a half.
The class action lawsuit now filed in Northwest Indiana, and how the Hoosiers who live there are getting by.
And while we do have some rain chances in our forecast in the short term, we're going to see the humidity take a bit of a dip, and that may give us a break. And we're going to have a couple of much better forecasts because of that. I'll show you coming up.
That was the most memory-making, best surprise, best night of my life.
Flowers from the fever.
We are introducing you to the woman in the middle of the surprise of a lifetime. That's next.